Cristobal Signal Station. This is motor vessel FG Star. FG Star, please come in, sir.
Cristobal Signal Station, this is sailing yacht Tulu. We are transiting the canal tomorrow AM around 0400. Can you confirm the time we need to pick up the advisor? Over.
That is correct. You will pick up your advisor at 0400. You should be waiting your advisor outside Shelter Bay Marina. Over.
Okay, all received. We'll pick them up outside the marina at 0400. Over.
Affirmative. Call back when you are in position to receive your advisor.
Will do. Sailing yacht Tay-Lee out. This is it. Today we transit the Panama Canal. 50 miles through 6 different locks, raising us up to 26 metres above sea level in Gatun Lake. And then lowering us down the other side to the Pacific Ocean. Our agent dropped the lines and fenders to the boat last week and also hopped on board to go over how the day would look. We also had our line handlers join, aka our friends Martin, Stuart and Xander. Aside from that, we covered our solar panels with our cushions, as they have been known to get smashed with the monkey fist the line handlers throw, and we were off. So we're just hovering, waiting for the advisor. The nav lights won't work. The engine didn't start. We're here. We're making it work. I ended up strapping a bright white torch on our stern and using one red headlamp on our bow port and colouring another headlamp green on our starboard bow. Was it perfect? No. But the pilot boat could see us and that's all that mattered in that moment. On. Nice.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning.
Pretty monumental, isn't it? Massive. Yeah. And you can see where the lights begin again.
Yeah, I know it's
So this is the lock ahead of us. I don't know if that's a nervous or an excited giggle. Or both. It's cool, we can still see the stars.
We then rafted to a 50-foot steel boat, which would be in the middle of us and another 40-foot boat for the duration of the locks. As our masts were completely in line, it was going to be a challenge to keep our spreaders away from each other.
Yeah, the spreaders are still too close. You have to come forward a bit.
Okay.
Well, they're only like 30 centimetres apart. At the
What do you guys want to do?
We need to pull ourselves forward.
We'll go forward a touch.
Mira.
We'll go forward.
Going in.
You got to make sure the bowley's a wider one. It's got to fit the bollard. We've just been told.
It wasn't long until the first lock's doors were shutting, and we were seeing the last sights of the Atlantic Ocean, for a while anyway. We were to be raised 25.9 metres in this lock. And it was completely up to us to pull in the slack of our lines and keep ourselves away from the wall. We are in the first of the locks.
Look how tight this gap is between this boat here. It's got a foot either side, I think. It's insane.
It's like tiny.
That went alright though, didn't
That
it?
did go
Kind
alright.
of organised chaos, but it's not too bad. We're just constantly adjusting the lines, so we stay in the middle of it at the moment. So we've got 2 lines running on that boat there, and then 2 lines on our bound stern.
And we're pulling in the slack each time.
Yeah.
We're going up. Are you okay to bring in the slack, Xander?
Yeah, good.
Boats keep pulling round. Boats are really acting as a pendulum and pulling. Oh, it goes up quickly.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
So underneath, there are 100 holes. And then when we open the valve, water flows from the upper chamber into this lower chamber. They communicated underneath.
Wow.
So the principle of connecting chambers makes the levels to equalize.
Oh, they're getting close.
Each lock in the Panama Canal has 3 levels to it. And although we had done the first 2 locks in the dark, the sun had now come up and we were waiting to complete the 3rd step of Gatun Lock.
So we're in the lock and we're stationary, nothing's really happening. And the reason nothing's happening is there's a low water in the lock at the moment, so they're trying to save water where they can. And there's now a boat up there. You see that? When that one's fully up, we'll use their water to come up as well. When they go down, we'll go up. Pretty sure that's how it's and we'll reuse their water. Our advisor brought us donuts. They're so nice. Thank you.
Oh wow, they're so green.
It's orange. Yeah, it's. I just picked them.
Oh nice.
That's
Oh, it's so
amazing.
nice to have a tangerine tree in your yard.
The boat behind us is a monster. It literally looks like a water tower. Going a bit crazy here.
He's like, chill.
He's like, calm down, girl. We had made it to Gatun Lake. Now it was time to disconnect from our boat nest. That's what they call it, honestly.
Right, spring line.
Slide the line over there.
Yeah.
Slide the line. Slide the line.
And motor the 25 miles to the next lock, Miraflores.
Yeah, right there. Good.
Yeah, we're off.
Very good. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good job, buddy.
We're disconnected. How is the lock one, Stuart?
Great. Absolutely loved it. Awesome experience.
Yeah, it's pretty
Absolutely. It's one of those wow things, you know.
Yeah, the scale of it was amazing.
Oh, it was awesome. But every minute of it.
We're in the middle of the lake, going through the channel, and our next lock, next and last lock, is at 12:55, and we're going to be ahead of the big boat this time because we're going down rather than up, and it's something to do with the lines going over the boat. I don't know. Anyway, we were asking the advisor some questions. We've actually got 2. One's training, one's our advisor. Anyway, he was saying that the lock is 110 foot wide and the boats can be 105 foot wide. There's 2.5 feet on either side of the big boats going through. 2.5 feet, and they don't have fenders, but sometimes they scratch up against the side. Like I said, it's unlikely because the water, something to do with the water and how it flows through the lock, it prevents the boats from hitting the side usually, but they can scrape all alongside the lock, and obviously the boats get made for the lock, the size, and that's a big priority for a lot of cargo ship builders. Yeah, we're just floating through the channel. You're not allowed to sail in the lake, you're not allowed to swim in the lake, dinghy or dragonfly, so being strict on those things. Even though there's a sailing club on the lake that sails, you know, it's fun. We're abiding by the rules. Pretty big boat chasing us down, Zach.
Yeah. I don't want to look.
I don't want to look.
Throw a line and collect jumps.
Yeah. Might just get a bit rolly for a sec. Oh,
I get stuff.
This is fresh water from the lake. Pretty good.
And it's meant to be lucky to drink it, yeah?
Yeah.
So go on then, do a little sip. Was that an actual sip?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's cleaner down in Gatun where we were.
Okay, oh, now you tell us.
Huh?
Now you tell us it's cleaner down there.
It smells kind of like, yeah, not much. Yeah,
Okay, don't drink anymore.
Don't drink it. You just confiscated it from me.
We may as well get sick, eh?
It's just fresh river water.
Yeah, it tastes better than your filtered water. That's fine.
I know, exactly.
Bottoms up, eh?
It's not bad.
It's water. If she wants to use it.
Nothing wrong with that. Fresh as a mountain stream.
Yeah. Just a few cargo ships go through a day. We have crossed the lake now. We're just coming up to the second and final lock. Then it's another 3 chambers down, and then we're in the Pacific. Aside from the engine not starting and the nav lights deciding to have a moment this morning, it had all gone pretty smoothly. Up to now. We had arrived early to the lock, and rather than hovering outside rafted up, they wanted Tay-Lee to tie to the wall.
We need to go forwards now. I can't go any further back here really. No.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
What the heck is happening?
Yeah. Right, do not pull the stern in too much because that panel would get smashed.
All right.
Let's move. Try to move forward.
What's that? Give up. Yeah. Martin, there's other fenders coming to you. Right, stop! Yeah, I know, but if they started backing up too quickly. Right, let's go here. Yeah, okay. Back up a Why can't you be in the middle? The bow thrust, I can't do that. Stop now, stop now. Stop. It's going to hit it again. Yeah. Okay, get ready, taking the slack down, we're going in the prop. Alright, yeah. Slack it up.
There we go. That's better. That's much more like it.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a show out there. They were trying to make us raft to the dock, which is where cargo ships raft up to, aka it's not designed for small cruising boats. And the cleats were all in the wrong place. There was nowhere we could put our fenders which would actually protect the boat because, you know, we're against a big wall. The solar panel was at the height of the concrete dock, and they were getting us to tie on to the cleats, and then we've got 20 knots of wind pushing us onto the wall, and then we've got two boats, one of which is 25 tons, steel 50-foot boat, and the other one is, I don't know how heavy, but if we'd tied on, we'd have had 50 tons of boat holding on our cleats. Who thought that would have been a good idea? I don't know, and we almost hit the bow in about 5 times because some people were saying slacken the lines, some people tighten the lines, and then we'd slack the lines and they said no, I said tighten, and the bow just kept nearly hitting, and then the stern kept hitting, and the outer boat would just pivot all the way around, and then we'd turn and almost hit, and then they'd come all the way back again, and then a gust. Oh my gosh, it was just a bit of a but we're in now, and we're in the middle, which I don't know why we weren't doing that to begin with, but okay, I'm gonna just take 5. We're fine, and in that situation, my coping mechanism, and I don't know if this is a good one, but it's just to float up into the sky and look down, still to listen and still to do things, but if I'm realising what's happening, my brain will just scramble. Yeah, but seeing your boat with 2 other boats just come herring into a big concrete wall, what can you do? You know, we can't keep our bow thruster kept the other boats off. They kept saying don't use your bow thruster. We had to. The bow was going to go in, and then afterwards they said, oh, actually that's a really good thing, you use your bow thruster. But it's fine. We're in, and it is all part of the adventure, you know. Imagine if it had just been plain sailing, we'd have no stories to tell. An update at the moment?
Well, we almost hit the dock a few times, but it's alright now. Everything's calmed down a little bit. Did you film that?
Yeah, on the GoPro.
You see me scrambling back here.
Yeah.
On this line that was way too far back and pulling.
Yeah, I've been shouting like that for a while.
Anyway, after that, it luckily calmed down a lot, and we could really soak in the sights and sounds around us. It was wild that in just a few hours, the gates would be opening to the Pacific and an entire new ocean would be waiting for us. We couldn't wait.
Down, but I'm putting the line in.
Yeah, you must be swimming us forward. Yeah. Okay. Listo. No han tirado todavía.
How does it feel? It's the last 2 docks.
Interesting, exciting, really exciting. been a little bit tense at times, but it's very exciting. And I wonder what the Pacific will hold. A lot of adventures, I'm sure.
So busy.
Told you guys. Told you. You guys are special.
We're here for you, Zach. How does it feel? Current's crazy. Very different experience going down.
On the boat.
That is the Pacific.
Alright, you're free.
And this is the Pacific. I don't think I would truly do it justice if I put my feelings about this whole day into words. But honestly, more than anything, I just can't believe we did it.
Okay, so we want to remain still at the starboard side.
Okay.
Guys, coming on that next area, we're going to be going to sea. Advice on.
Yes.
Good job! Wow, I didn't even touch. That was great. See ya.
Good luck.
Amazing, and the lines. Yeah, Martin's got it. We're in the Pacific! Woo! That's crazy. We did it.
Hey!
We did the Panama Canal.
Right now we got to do the marina.
Yeah, we got to get hold of them first. So.
I was trying to think how to open this.
I know, we never really sit down like this much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna talk to you guys about our Panama Canal transit. This is filmed a few weeks after we've actually done the Panama Canal, or a little bit more than a few weeks, but we want to take you guys through everything which was involved with us initially trying to figure out how to do it, to talking to the agent who ended up booking it up for us, to the fees, what we had to do, the details we had to give, right through to when we handed off all the equipment right at the end in Panama City.
Yes, and firstly, let's just start at the beginning. So to book it, we knew kind of straight off that we wanted an agent. This was mainly due to the fact that other cruises we'd met had advised an agent, because you have a locked-in set of fees for it if you go with an agent. If you don't go with an agent, it's obviously cheaper. However, you can get fined easier, and you also have to pay a big deposit. So I think I'm pretty sure it's a $2,000 cash deposit you have to pay, and then they'll chip into that if you're late and if you get fined.
We know plenty of people who didn't do it with an agent, but the agent fees, we'll get onto it in a bit, weren't crazy for how much, like, the amount of stress and everything they would take away from what they would do for you. But aside from that, we ended up contacting the agent back in November of 2023. Which was a couple of months before we went through, wasn't it?
Yeah, about that.
About 2 months before we went through. You could have done it more. Some people kind of did it as they turned up in Panama, and it was absolutely fine. But when we contacted the agent, they organised our Panama cruising permit, which you've got to have to go into Panama. And the canal as well. Yeah, we'll leave his details down below. He's a guy called Erick, actually. He was really highly recommended to us. Yeah, we contacted him and he just sent us a breakdown of everything, gave us our Panama cruising permit, which we paid for, and also got us to measure our boat and send him photos of the measurements. He actually sent our cruising permit before we had actually paid for anything, so obviously trusted that we were going to go through the process with him. Yeah, and it used to be that you used to have to get to Shelter Bay and have your boat manually measured by someone. Yeah. It's actually a new thing that you can send them the measurements. It's a pretty new thing they've added, but it's really nice that we can do it virtually. Back in Aruba, we measured loads of things about the boat. We measured all the way from the bow anchor roller all the way to the back of the solar panel, got exact measurements for how long, how wide. We already knew how tall our rig was on here. Yeah, you need to send the air draft, the weight of the boat, the weight. Loads of details about the boat, how many horsepower it had, how fast you could sit at, which we'll get at and talk to about in a little more detail. But how much fuel you have, whether you have a holding tank, how many masts you have. How many masts, there's loads of details, but nothing that was too difficult. Yeah. So we submitted that to him, and then he said, when do you want to go? And we said a date, and he did give us a warning that there could be a few delays, because as a few of you have warned us, there's obviously the lower water levels at the moment, and he did say there could be a 3 or 4 day wait. However, we had no delays whatsoever. Yeah. Turns out though, any delay wouldn't have really been because of the water. The only reason we would have had delay is if they had a vessel coming through that would have priority over like us. So if it would have been a military vessel or something like that, but there's not many instances that we've heard of where people ended up being delayed from their date. So we actually went through on the date which we asked to go through, on the exact date, which is perfect. Yeah, I know that there is less lock openings a day, so there used to be 9 for small boats, and now there's, no, sorry, there used to be 3 for small boats, and now there's 1. But yeah, we didn't have any delays. We know in the high season in February and March, when the World Arc and the Oyster Rally go through, there are bigger delays then. Yeah. So we sent Erick all the details probably a couple of months before we went through the canal, got all that through, and then he sent us the cost breakdown for everything, and this was pretty much how much we ended up paying altogether, wasn't it? There weren't a few tiny extra fees. But there are a few tiny extra fees, but nothing too crazy. Transit tolls up to 64.99 foot, so this is for boats that are under that. So each year the fees pretty much go up by $200 without fail. So if we had gone through in the 31st December, it would have been $1,760 US, but we went through afterwards, which ended up being $1,935 US. So that's the transit toll. The transit inspection, which I guess is them reviewing our paperwork that we sent through, was $75. The transit security fee, not too sure what that is. I guess, I don't know either. The transit security fee was $165 US. The Canal EDCS is $75. Fender and line rental, which we'll get onto in a minute, was $125 US. We had bank charges of $75, and then the agent fee is $450 US, but we got a discount of $125 through the Panama Posse, didn't we?
Yeah, so the Panama Posse, for those that don't know, is a cruising club rally, and it's unlike the Arc that you don't have set schedules, but you do have, you know, a community and you have discounts in marinas, and there's a lot of perks to it. We actually signed up at Annapolis Boat Show, and we would really recommend it. We got a discount there. We've had a discount in the marina we're in, discount in Shelter Bay. There's been loads of marinas, even in Colombia we got discount through that.
Yeah, it's definitely paid for itself already, hasn't it?
100%. So yeah, that was really good. And then if we wanted line handlers, we'd pay $120 per line handler. We had friends as crew join, so that was free. And then also our Panama cruising permit, which we had to have to cruise Panama, was $235 US, and I think that's for, that's a year? Yeah, that's a year. Yeah, that lasts a year, so that's all great. So the total for that, we'll put a total of all of that on the screen, but I think it was something like, it was near 3,000. It's probably about 3,000 for all of that, isn't it? Yeah, it's close to 3,000 for all of that. It was a lot, but also, what was the alternative, you know? Yeah. It was what it was. And then, yeah, it was pretty much a case of just waiting for the date. We had a guy come on board about a week earlier and go through the whole process with us. And so we were departing from Shelter Bay Marina. Yeah, and he came on to us, he found us in the marina there. And then he also brought our fenders and lines. And then we just got a text message the night before saying the time we were definitely going through at, and yeah, that was about it. And then we, as you saw in the video, we had the pilots come to the boat, we did the canal, and then the pilot disembarked, and we had a little boat come up to us who we gave fenders and lines to, and we tipped them. Eric told us to tip them $25, so we tipped them $25 for coming and collecting the fenders and lines. These are kind of costs as well that for us it wasn't worth negotiating or anything. It's kind of, there's enough people going through and creating the business that there's no bartering, there's no, the price is fixed. You either pay it and you cross, or you don't pay it and you don't cross. That's how we saw it anyway. So yeah, I think that's about the breakdown of the cost. We had no say on what position in the lock we were going to be at. We had no say on what time slot we were going to be at, or whether we spent the night in the lock. I know some boats spend a night overnight in the lake. That was just random for us. Yeah. So yeah, anything else to add? That's pretty much everything. Yeah, but overall it was a really good experience. We're really happy we went with an agent. It just took so much stress out of the process, and yeah, we'd do it again if we had to. I think if you were fluent in Spanish, I think not using an agent would probably be a lot more viable, but a lot of the canal authorities will only speak Spanish, so yeah, definitely. The agent that came to our boat, and I think pretty much all the agents speak English, but the people who deal with all the scheduling and everything, I think it's Spanish. Yeah, do you want to talk about the food and stuff like that on board? Oh yeah. And all of that? Yeah, so we had to, something we didn't know before, before a few weeks before, I'd say. I can't remember when we found out, but essentially we had to cook the advisor enough hot meals while they were on the boat. So it would depend on which lock entry you were going through. So if you were going very early in the morning like we were, you had to cook them breakfast, lunch and dinner. I think it was just meant to be breakfast and lunch, but you had to have an option for dinner in case. Yeah, so you had to have 3 meals kind of prepared. They needed to be all warm meals as well? They needed to be hot meals with meat. We ended up buying some ham in case. In the end, we did cook a mushroom lasagna and they were happy with that. But what are you busy cooking in here? I'm prepping some food for tomorrow. Yeah, which is? A big ass lasagna. I meant what is tomorrow? Oh, lasagna day. No. What else are we doing tomorrow apart from eating lasagna? We are also crossing the canal. But that's a small detail. We've got wavy pasta. Awesome. Smells good. Hopefully the advisor will be keen on lasagna. Sure he will. Well, he doesn't have a choice. He's gonna have to be keen on it. Nice. Love that.
I feel like our 2 advisors, normally we'd only have 1 advisor, but there's a trainee one which we weren't made aware of as well, so good thing I prepared extra food. There are a few things like that which kind of rocked up out of the blue, but they worked out all right, didn't they? But they were super relaxed with everything. They were, it felt like they weren't even expecting meals, but we knew from other people that some of the advisors were very much like, no,
very strict. You can get fined for it.
Yeah. But our ones were super chill. One of our ones even brought his own food.
Yeah, well, one of them brought us donuts.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. So, no, it was fine, but you have to be prepared to cook them a hot dinner with a hot meal each meal with meat each meal. We got told that. They also have to have access to bottled water, sealed, sorry, and they also have to have access to like tea and coffee and things like that. So it was a bit of a balancing act, getting the food prepared and ready, making sure that was hot whilst going along with the day. But it was just a case of us asking the advisor, do you want food now, do you want food now, and then saying either yes or no. But yeah, ours were great, so we got kind of lucky with that. You can do a meal book. If we didn't want to cook meat, you had to go through a meal box with Erick, and it was $125. It was $75 for the meal box, super expensive, and it was $125 to get it brought by boat to your boat per meal. But I mean, and
apparently if the advisors weren't happy with what you were serving, they could request one of these things be sent out, and you'd be charged for it.
Oh, actually, something we haven't said is another reason we went with the advisor is obviously you have to pay a $2,000 deposit if you don't go with an advisor. But going with an advisor new this year, you don't pay a deposit. The advisor kind of is the deposit. They are the ones who have our credit. Yeah, they have our credit card details and everything. So it was really nice not having to give more money than we needed to. I know our friend Marika went with Erick 10 years ago, and she still had to give a deposit, but because it was through an agent, it was a little bit more secure back then.
One other thing that we didn't talk about in the video was the lines and fenders. A lot of people are probably thinking, oh, why don't you use your own lines and fenders? The lines that they used were ridiculously long and thick, and you don't get a choice. You've got to use their lines and fenders that they provide. I guess that kind of makes sense, because I imagine they've had people go through the canal before who've had very inadequate lines and fenders, but the fenders they gave us, we were very happy about having. I mean, we've got 7 fenders on board, but the ball fenders they gave us were huge.
Maybe not.
They were pretty big, weren't they?
Yeah, they were pretty big. I think that's everything we need to cover.
Yeah,
is there anything else?
No, I think it's everything.
Yeah, so that's the Panama Canal for you.